Afternoon, YouTube. Welcome to the exciting episode 3 of Random Pipe. Smoking one of my custom cobs. You guys have seen it before. I'm currently working on a different band because I didn't hate the brass band that was on there, but I figured I'm gonna try something new. In it, I have some Orlick mellow mixture, which I still like very much. But a little time between coats of wax where I'm just kind of waiting for that coat to dry before I put another one on, and it's taking a little bit longer because it is getting kind of humid where I'm at, so I gotta wait a little bit longer between coats. So figured pop on, make a video. And so what's this video going to be about? Well, first let me apologize to Daniel Shore. That was who I couldn't remember his name last time when I made the last video. And I remembered it right when I was uploading it, and I wasn't going to cancel it and reshoot a whole video. But my apologies to him. It's a great channel. Go check him out. So, again, I apologize for that. For whatever reason, the name just escaped me when I was filming. Which, you know, it happens. So, what are we going to talk about in this one? Well, this is going to be a politics rant. Oh boy, huh? Now, before you turn it off, just something I don't know, it's been bothering me. And I've talked about this with my wife too, but I don't think she cares to hear my rants, and you might not either. But basically, I'm not endorsing either candidate for president. And the whole thing, because, you know, you have the Republican National Convention the last couple of days. Did I watch it? No. The thing that bothers me is that of all the people we have that could run for office, and this is really the best we have. This is the best we came up with. That bothers me. It bothers me a lot. In fact, I think it's even embarrassing for our country. Like, this is the best. We have Trump and Hillary Clinton, and like, these are our choices. Yeah, you could vote third party, but for front runners, these are our choices. And I'm just floored by that. And I'm not going to say I'm a Republican or I'm a Democrat. In the elections, since I've been of age to vote, I have voted for both parties at one time or another. I guess I would be one of those they consider undecided votes, the all-important undecided voter, because I do have some ideas that would be considered liberal on the liberal side, and I do have some views on certain things that would be considered on the conservative side. So I don't exactly really align myself with one party or the other. But like I said, that really bothers me. It's like, these are your champions. These are... And it just hurts. I mean, I don't think either of them are worth worth their salt, or whatever you want to call it. Try to avoid using a bad word, but I'm sure through the course of me doing this, a curse word might slip out and get by the goalie. But it's just, I don't even know. And I think a lot of people are like that right now. Like, what happened? I don't know. But, and the other thing a lot of people don't, I think, look at, if they think, I mean, first with those two candidates, if you really endorse either one of them, that's fine. If you truly believe in their cause and what they're doing, more power to you. But I'll be honest with you right now. I'm going to say 95% of anybody that holds an office, if you really believe everything they say, and that you think they really give a crap about you or your family, then I think you're somewhat delusional, because they don't. They're not in it for you. They're not in it for America. They're in it for themselves. Plain and simple. Why would I say that? Well, look at most of your senators and congressmen. How much do they work for you? Well, here's your answer. They spend more hours per week working on raising funds for their campaign for the next election, or talking with people, or planning it, than doing their job. You know, and that's across the board. They spend more time in office trying to raise money for their next election than actually doing anything while they're in office. So if you figure that hours per day, I'm going to probably saying on an average week, they don't work that much. And then the amount of vacation they take and so on and so forth. So does a lot get done? Not really. Not as much as it should be, or not as much as they could. Because they really don't, like I said, they don't care about you. They just care about their career. I mean, why do a lot of these politicians, especially for even running for president, spend so much insane amount of money to try and win a job that doesn't even pay maybe a quarter of what they spent to get the job? I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I mean, even if they're like a fiscally conservative, they got to know that doesn't make sense to spend millions of dollars to get a job that pays maybe $100,000 or whatever it would be. Some don't pass the smell test there to me. But I'm a guy sitting in a carpet cleaning van, so what do I know? But does anybody ever remember those old commercials they had, like, what if construction workers run the government, or what if firefighters ran the government? I don't remember who put those commercials out. They were older. They were, I think Nextel or one of them made them. Those were hilarious. But, you know, and if you think about it, we always look at the federal part of it like, man, that's so mixed up, or messed up and corrupted. Well, one thing I can tell you is years ago I ran for an alderman position in my town. And all reality, that'll really open my eyes to how corrupt local government is. If you think that federal government is corrupt, holy shit, is local government just as bad. But it's not, you know, it's not plastered all over the TV sometimes. But the dirtiness that will happen there, even if you're running for like an alderman position, it's ridiculous. And that's real eye-opening. It's like, wow. Did I win? No, I did not win, but in a way I'm kind of glad I didn't. After really getting a really good look at how things operate, even in my town. And I don't even live in a big town. I can't even imagine if you're in a big city. That's got to be 50 times worse. So, I guess that's my rant about politics. And the sad part is, I don't think it'll ever get to a point where somebody will run that wants to make a difference. I think people have tried, but the sad part is, you know, they're one voice among thousands, and they kind of get lost in it, or they get into it and they realize they need to play the game to even try to get anything done. And maybe that's most of the problem. They get into it with the best of intentions, but realize nothing's going to get done unless they learn how to play the game. And then they end up just as bad. So, that's where it gets, and that's where I have problems with the politicians talking about certain things with people in work and stuff. It's like, you don't even really work. You have so many assistants and interns and stuff do all your stuff while you're off trying to raise money for 30 plus hours a week for your next run for the office. There's part of, there needs to be just like this party, just like their slogan is not "Make America Great Again" or whatever. It's just like, just directed towards politicians, like, do your fucking job. Just do your fucking job, what you were elected to do. Not work for yourself. Or not pander to lobbyists or whatever just to get stuff passed. Because if you think that all these contributions to campaigns, that once they get in, there's not a nudge, nudge, wink, wink, hey, I gave you a few $100,000 or $1 million for your campaign, what are you going to do for me? If you think that doesn't happen, then you also are delusional. Is there a way to fix it? I don't know if there is. Are we too far gone? We could be. So, I wish there was a way to fix it, and I wish I knew how. But I think a lot of it has to start at the local level. I think, federal government aside, I think it needs to start at a local level where people need to get involved there. And a lot of people don't have time. So you get busy and you can't go to every single little meeting they do. It's not going to happen, but maybe people need to take more notice, I think, on a local level. Maybe get involved when you can. I know it's hard for a lot of people. The sad part is that's a lot of the excuses for people that are in office too. Well, people don't show up or people don't get involved. Well, yeah, if you run at a local level, if you're running meetings to make important decisions at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, yeah, people are working. Shocker. They're not going to be able to make it. Or you're going to run at 12 o'clock. Or you're going to run at 9 o'clock in the morning. No, people aren't going to show up. What the hell do you expect? There's people in the community that are working so they can have their houses and pay their taxes so that you guys can just make really bad decisions. Because even in the local stuff, if you're in a position where you want to make a difference, and what they'll do is they'll start spreading like alderman stuff up onto separate committees. Well, if you start making too much noise or asking too many questions and they don't feel like they need to answer, you'll just be put on a certain committee. Like, okay, well, you're going to be on the committee to help paint parking lines and decide that and figure that all out and the budget for that. Well, okay. Sorry that too many questions were asked. Otherwise, it's silly things like that, and it just pisses me off. And I wish I had an answer to it. And I don't. And I don't think anybody else does. And I don't even know if any of this video even makes sense. Well, I guess we're in for it the long haul. I guess all we can do is hope whoever does become president or whoever our next elected officials are, agree with them or not, let's just hope they try to make a difference. Let's just hope they show up for work. Let's be honest. Let's just hope they try to do something well or something good that they want to do. I don't know. I think for the most part, we're all getting dry hobo rubdowns behind the truck stop. That's about all they're doing to us. So, anyways, sorry to leave that on a negative note, and sure it's not the greatest video, but you guys have a great afternoon. Smoke them if you got them, and I guess let's try to stay positive. That's all I got.